Oh, let's see. What did I start? About 2 years ago. Um, Started with what I considered at the time to be a bad mushroom trip. Uh, in hindsight, I got so many messages and so much meaning out of this really strange experience. I've never had one. I've done mushrooms before and since, but uh, have never had quite that experience. I call it my awakening. Um, it's kind of weird because there's a lot of other people that seem to be waking up. It was just the way that not mine come about and all the different messages. The main, I guess, overriding message that I got out of it um, was to question my history. And things really, really started to change for me from there uh, in all aspects of life. So I started questioning my history and I started doing research and looking into our past. And, it just seems like everything that I started looking into, there's always an alternate story. And it seems like the stories that we've been told a lot have been lies. It's like we're born into this world and we're indoctrinated into the lies. I think it starts with Christmas and Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny and all these other things that the kids find out are lies and they're let down by, and then that's how we go about things, basically lying all the time. And I think, and I'll get into the subject maybe on a different one, but capitalism has something to do. I mean, because basically, if you're capitalism is just it is what it is. You're capitalizing on the next person on a constant basis, and well, like I said, that's something for another thing. I started noticing though, just all the lies and how corrupt our society is. Not just the politicians. It's pretty much everybody, and myself included. I had done things that were questionable. I mean, just let's just be honest. They're questionable, and but question my history is what I got out of the first one. Started looking into it, and there's just so many alternate stories. You look at Hitler and what he was doing, and then you start looking at the Jews and why he was doing that to them, and it's really weird. It seems like there's a lot of parallels. I don't know if it's just me, but it seems like there's a lot of parallels to Germany and America, especially at this time frame, and even the photographs, like where Bush is holding the axe, Hitler was holding it the same way, and the photo ops with the children that he did, and Obama did the photo ops with the children, and it's like they have a line or a storyline that they do, or a way of going about taking over a country, and I'm not even sure who they are. It appears that way. Maybe somebody's making it appear that way. But I started looking at it, and I don't have anything against Jews. I really didn't know what a Jew was until I was at least 15, that they were even different. I had a girlfriend, and I brought them over Christmas presents, which they were real nice about it. They didn't really say anything, but I mean, that goes to my extent. I'm not a prejudiced person. I'm half Mexican. I'm half white myself. So, but I start looking at this, and it looks like they've been kicked out of every country that they've been in. And then you start looking at who owns things here in America. With four out of the five, I guess, news conglomerates that own the media. And then you start looking at who owns the Federal Reserve, where all the money is. Of course, you got Ben Bernanke Shalom, and then you look at the powerful seats around the president and in Congress, and the people who are pushing for the gun control and stuff. which I'm not really into guns. I think it should be a right that we should have. I think there's a lot more things that we should have, but that's another story as well. Uh, because there is definitely, it looks like a need to protect ourselves. It looks like to me, it appears. I'm not saying it is, but it appears that our government's kind of going rogue, and that they're lying to us and telling us it's for our own safety. But you know, your secrets make me feel safe. Basically, I ain't got nothing to hide. Why would you? Unless you're doing something wrong, and that's basically what it comes down to. But a lot of weird things, like I said, have happened to me since then. I've been going through a roller coaster ride. Sold my business, got out of the business. I started looking at the way our businesses are set up, and as the owner of a small tree service, I made so much more than my guys, and my guys were the ones making the money. I mean, they were actually out there doing all the work. I just did bids, and I really didn't do much of the work. And I think pretty much all business models are set up that way. Especially here, because of the taxes and everything, it's almost hard to hire anybody. Uh, but when you do, you got to pay them as little as possible, so that you can have the things or that you want in life and be able to make it. I guess. Um, but I seen, for me, that I didn't feel right about it. I don't think it's a. I don't think it's a good model. Um, Even if I am, which I'm not saying I am, but if I am more intelligent, I'm sure I am. But what is intelligence? I was smart enough anyway to figure out how to put stuff together and create a business and perpetuate it for a long time. But I was feeling pretty rotten. I had gotten to a point in life, and I'm 42 now, to where I thought I wanted to be. And, which was, I was able to kick back and, go out, do a few bids for 2 or 3 hours a day, and kick back and play PlayStation the rest of the day. And the American dream, you got money, you do whatever you want. Um, just as miserable, the most miserable I've ever been in my life. Uh, Deep in despair, not believing in anything really too much anymore, besides just a flat out God. I don't even know about Jesus Christ at this point. It just seems like all the institutions are corrupt, and why would the church be any different? I mean, you look at it, the church, and it doesn't appear any different either. You have a preacher, just one person who's ruling everything, who's got most of the money, and doesn't really look like they're doing that much to help the communities. I mean, they do, but as much money as most of them pull in, I don't think, buying these $100 million buildings so they can praise in them is the best way. And I truly myself, I don't believe that you need a middleman to talk to God. Uh, I think that is something that is available to everybody. You don't need a mediator. All you have to do. Now, I mean, personally, I've never heard any spoken words back from God, although I do believe in Him or her or whatever it is, or them, if you follow the Bible. I'm just I'm kind of lost there, and the more I started delving in and researching, and I'll go over this in later videos. I'm gonna break it down, just kind of introducing myself to everybody. My name is Michael, awakened in Texas. I feel like I've been awakened and shown something. Um, Getting back to the mushrooms, though, I think that was the catalyst that did it for me. I'm starting to believe, kind of like John Allegro had showed, and he did a lot of research. I mean, he studied the Dead Sea Scrolls, that maybe Jesus wasn't a person, but he was an experience. Because ever since that period, my eyes seem to be, um, I guess you would say, open to the truth, or at least what I think is the truth. I've gone over this, and it's really driving me crazy. Why are we here, for the last 2 years? And you keep going down these different rabbit holes. And when as I was first awakening, I'm like, I couldn't find anybody that seemed to be going through the same thing, or at least that wanted to share. So, I'm going to put myself out there for anybody who is maybe just be awakening to this world, and maybe the lies of this world. I truly am believing, or I'm starting to think that maybe we are in hell. uh, God says He won't put in, or I'm quoting from the Bible, which I'll do from time to time, even though I'm not 100% sure about it. Reason being is because, I sometimes I wonder if there isn't like a deity, an evil deity that is the ruler of this world, and it sure seems that things point that way. Of course, to every story, there's a flip side to the story. It's the duality of life. For every night there's a day, cold there's warm, woman there's man, dog there's cat. Then the list just goes on and on. The duality in life. Um, but I feel like maybe this world is a lie. It is based on lies, and that the God of this world is an evil God, and that's why I don't necessarily believe totally in the Bible. I believe kind of like the whole as above, so below, and they turn everything upside down. I really believe that. Matter of fact, I think it's what happens in this world. We go out a lot of times with the best of intentions, but most of our intentions end up coming out the wrong way. It's just like, we form a government to protect our freedoms, and of course they start taking it away immediately. You go to the doctor, a lot of times they make you sicker. You go to a lawyer for justice, there ain't no justice there. And, just the list goes on and on this stuff. It's just crazy. And I'm going to pose this question. I'm sure you've seen it before on YouTube. If not, it's just a simple question, and maybe I'm looking for answers. That's basically my whole thing, and I will have a lot more of these going on because I have a lot more subjects, and I guess you only have 15 minutes, so you have to wrap it up pretty quick. But my question for everybody is, and I want different answers. I think we make our own truth. Is in the Bible it says that God said, if you eat of the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, that you will die. And the serpent, of course, said to Adam and Eve, "Oh, if you eat that, that's not going to happen. You're going to become like him." Um, so they ate it, and they didn't die. And later on, in the Bible, it goes on to say, "Well, they've eaten from the tree of good of the knowledge of good and evil. Uh, they become like us, which is plural, so there's more than one God, I guess." I know they did the Trinity and all that. I don't really get into all that. I don't really believe in that. But it says not to let them have the tree of life, or they will be like us. So obviously, God in the Bible was a liar, and the serpent was telling the truth. Now, I don't know if I'm just the only one that catches that. I know, unless you can quote something actually from the Bible that says, well, it was the Trinity, or you know that it was a spiritual death, because it doesn't say that. But if somebody can point me in a direction, I'd sure like to know. Anyway, that'll wrap up this session, and God bless y'all. Um, keep your chins up. Our faith based world isn't working anymore because it's hard to believe in a bunch of lies, and these crooked politicians that keep telling us the lies. Thanks. Have a good day.